Hello there. A-level biology theatre extra videos. Today it is cell junctions. I think you must have learned about cell junctions in your unit cell. So cell junctions, you know what junction is? Junction basically means connections. Cell junctions are cells get connected. Why is so? Why does it happen? Why cells need connections? The thing is this, it is really simple. Do you think that our cells in this body not connected? They are really connected. That is the reason why we cannot pull things away. Yeah. Cells are connected. And even in grade 6, you learn that cells combine to form tissues. How do they combine to form tissues? By cell connections. So it is needless to say that about cell junctions because always cell junctions present. Clear? Yeah. Shall we go to how animal cells join, interact, and communicate? Now, in this lesson, we are basically going to talk about how animal cells join, interact, and communicate. Three things. How animal cells join, interact. Interact means in a way they work together. Interaction. Now, in a conversation, we interact. I would ask somebody, Mashang, how are you? And he would say, oh, good. Things like that. So, how animal cells join, interact, and communicate. Not only interaction, they communicate. Maybe communication means giving signals. They may be electrical or they may be chemical signals or whatever it is. We are going to lesson. Yeah. What are cell junctions? Cell junction. Shall we read this first? Now, all these things from your resource book, and but what I'm going to do is to show you the big picture behind the scene. Clear? Yeah. So you will understand perfectly the resource book when you read it next. Clear? Yeah. What are cell junctions? Neighboring cells. Neighboring cells. You know what neighbor is? It's quite clear. Neighboring cells. These are two neighboring cells, as you see. Neighboring cells join, interact, and communicate, as we have talked about, via sites of direct physical contacts. Now, here, this is a direct contact. Direct contact. Yeah, but we can communicate without being connected directly. Yeah, hello. Yeah, in telephone, telecommunication, or whatever it is. But for cells, they generally need physical contact to communicate. There are very many places that we find that they are doing in other ways, but generally it is so. So, sites of direct physical contact. Cell junctions are structures at which cytoplasm of adjoining cells are joined. Cell junctions are structures. What is cell junction? Cell junctions are structures. Is this a structure? Yeah, this is a structure. Yeah. Cell junctions are structures at which cytoplasm of adjoining cells are joined. Cytoplasm of adjoining cells are joined. So, some cell junctions, the cytoplasms not joined basically. Yeah, you will see that. They connect the internal chemical environment of adjacent cells. Generally, that happens, but there are times that in some connections it never happens. Next slide. Types of cell junctions in your syllabus. Yeah, now we are going to see different types of cell junctions. You can see three types of cell junctions I'm going to talk about. Yeah. There are three main types of cell junctions in animal cells. Yeah. Number one, tight junction, desmosomes, and gap junctions. Tight junctions, they're really tight, just like a belt, tight. You can see that tight. Yeah. So you just think like this. So when the two cell membranes, now you can see phospholipid layers and cell membranes. If you pour water into this part, do you think that it would come down through this thing? No, tight. It is really tight. That is the purpose of this. Stopping leakage, leaking. Yeah. There are three main types of cell junctions: tight junctions, desmosomes. Desmosomes, just like rivet, we call them anchoring junctions even. Anchoring junction, anchoring, fixing. Yeah, anchoring junctions, anchor junctions. Gap junctions, yeah, you can see in gap junctions a really special thing that you can see there is a passageway, a passage so that chemicals can move from one cell to another. Yeah, gap junctions, communicating junctions, communicating junctions. Why communicate? Hello? So two cells can communicate via this, through this thing. Yeah, that is it. Types of cell junctions. Next slide. We are coming to tight junctions. Tight junctions. Yeah. Connect the plasma membrane of adjacent cells tightly. Plasma membrane. This is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane. Yeah. So two plasma membranes join together tightly. Tight junction. So if you pour water here, it does not go to the other side because of as this part is really tight. Around the cells, these belts work. I'm going to show you a very beautiful picture at the end of this slideshow so that you can understand it perfectly. Yeah. Bound by specific proteins forming continuous seals around the cells. Continuous seals around the cells. Just think it like this. Now I have a cell phone. You just think that this is a cell. I use glue to connect number of cell phones together. This one this way, fourth, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, and so on. We make it a layer of cell phones. You understand, right? Now they are glued. The around the cell or around the cell phone, I apply glue. And then when it becomes dry, do you think if I pour water onto this structure, the water would go through these edges? No. Between two cells? No. Why? Sealed. That is the purpose. We are going to talk about all these things. Yeah. So connect the plasma membranes of adjacent cells tightly bound by specific proteins forming continuous seals. Yeah, that is what I told you. Continuous seals. Continuous seals. If this part is not sealed, everything would go to the other side. Clear? Yeah, that is what is happening here. Bound by specific proteins forming continuous seals around the cell. Prevent leakage of extracellular fluids through intracellular space. Yeah, prevent leakage of extracellular fluids through intercellular space. Extracellular fluid, these cell secretes things. Cell gives out sort of watery things. Yeah. So that is extracellular fluid. Intracellularly, you find cytoplasm, protoplasm, or whatever. But outer to the cell, you find extracellular fluid. So extracellular fluid through intercellular space. This is intercellular space. Intercellular space, cell atara space, intercellular space. Yeah. So prevent leakage of extracellular fluids through intercellular space. You just think like this. Skin epithelium. Now, this is my skin. So, if this is not sealed that way, what would happen? All the liquids in the body would come out. That would be really a problem. As we are in this, what we call the terrestrial environment, that is a desiccating environment, because we become umbalakada if it happens. Yeah. Under hot sun, you would become an umbalakade. Yeah, that is what is happening there. So it prevents that leakage. And on the other hand, you just think about alimentary canal, your food canal, that is your intestine, small one or big, large one or whatever it is. So the job of small intestine is to absorb digested food through villi, and then when they go to the other side, I mean, absorb, if they have the capacity to come back, no, they cannot come back because food is absorbed first into cells, epithelial cells there, epithelial lining, and then go to the other side. If then between the cellular space, if they can come back, it is useless eating food. Clear? Yeah, that is it. That is really interesting. Yeah. Now, desmosomes. When it comes to desmosomes, you can see they are actually anchoring junction. Anchor. Why do we use an anchor? Anchor is not kiripiti. Anchor is usually um, what do we call the ships. now, and they have a sort of a gadget called anchor. In your anchor packet, that is a milk packet, you would find that mark of anchor, something like this, anchor. Anchor, why do they use anchor to stay in one place? You understand, when the um, people, when sailing through, if they want to stop somewhere for some time, then they use that anchor, and then when they send it down, it is really heavy, so therefore it's very really difficult for the what do we call the ship to move. So then it is standing still. So anchoring, you understand anchoring. Anchoring means to fix in places. So just think about this. When you eat meat, I think you know fish, meat, it is really difficult to tear a piece of meat. Why? All the cells are anchored, clear, in a way of, yeah, one part of junctions. Yeah. Mechanically attach the cytoskeletons of adjoining cells. Cytoskeletons. Yeah. This picture is not that. It is really good to understand the fact, but it is not the real thing. However, you can see this is desmosome. So intermediate filaments, these filaments are of this cell, these filaments are of the other cell, neighboring cell. So and also this way, I mean, this way, now this is all these things are, as you can see, they are horizontal, but vertically, even the filaments, intermediate filaments come. And this is really a complex structure. This is an illustration to show you what's happening. Yeah. Mechanically attach the cytoskeleton of adjoining cells, linked by intermediate filaments for strong bonding, provide strength and withstand mechanical stress. Withstand mechanical stress. Mechanical stress එකක් ආපුවම withstand ඒවා දරන්න පුළුවන්. Withstand. හිටන් ඉන්නව නෙමෙයි. Withstand mechanical stress. Example, muscle tissue. It's very difficult to, because the reason is actually muscles, as you know. Muscles have to bear tension. You know what I mean? Yeah. So muscles have to bear a lot of tension, otherwise they will be broken away. Clear? Yeah. That is, it never happens because these desmosomes. That one, gap junctions. Oh yeah, but they should come closer because they are superimposed generally. They are aligned on the other hand, because from one cell, this connection, whatever it is, sort of proteins, we are not going to talk about all these things. From these very tiny passages, so from the passages, from one cell to the other cell, materials can pass. Yeah. Provide cytoplasmic channels from one cell to the adjacent cell. Channels, yeah, that is, here what you find is cytoplasm here. Here the cytoplasm means neighboring cell. So cytoplasm, strands of cytoplasm goes through these things, these very tiny passages, canals, yeah. Provide cytoplasm channels from one cell to an adjacent cell, made of special membrane proteins called connexins forming pores. Allow iron, sugars, amino acids, and small molecules to pass. So it's really small, the passages. Allow signal and material exchange between cells. Allow signal and material exchange. Signal. Now, when you think about hormones, they are signals, clear signals, and material exchange between cells. Example, heart muscles, animal embryo. Heart muscles and animal embryo. Now, very important thing that you should understand is when you learn the circulatory system, that when it comes to muscles, basically, you will learn that. Because the heart, good number of muscles there, cardiac muscles, but when they contract, they should work together. If some muscles say, no, Machang, I will do it later, you just contract, no, we will die. So therefore, and it has a sort of a rhythmic contraction. So coming from the bottom of the heart, that is just like, it's just like a cone. the apex of the cone. Yeah, that is the lower part of the heart. From that part, whoosh, whoosh, not this way. Yeah. So to do this, they should be really they should work together. Yeah, as a team. Yeah. So therefore, the signals and everything should go from one cell to the other. Just like Maludala Dinakotu, you must have seen um, in coastal areas. If you are living in Gold, you are coastal areas basically, and you see that and they say different things, right? Songs and things like that. Why do they do that? To communicate. Hoya hoya or something. I can remember the things. Why they want to have the rhythm. That's the reason why they sing sort of songs that confined to that industry. Yeah, that job. Yeah, they know that. Yeah, they know that the rhythm when they sing, when the rhythm comes, they know they can work together. So in the similar manner, to work together, there should be a very good communication. So that is what is happening here. Gap junctions, communicating junctions, heart muscles, animal embryo. This is a summary. Tight junctions, desmosomes and gap junction. Tight junctions seals cells together and prevents leakage. Desmosomes, strong mechanical attachment. Gap junctions communicate and material exchange. Continuous seal around the cell. Tight junctions, continuous seal around the cell. Links cytoskeletons via intermediate filament. You must have seen, you remember that. Channels, pores between cells. Yeah. Tight junction, skin epithelium. Desmosomes, muscle tissue. I think now you remember all these things. Gap junctions, heart muscles. Yeah. Oh, how cell junctions work together. Tight junctions, they work together. Clear, yeah, as a team. Tight junctions protect by sealing. Yeah, sealing. So therefore, this is epithelium, this is skin, you just think, yeah. So the liquids cannot come out, yeah, because of tight junctions. Otherwise, there are spaces, because it is only this part we have this gadget. So in other parts, the fluid can pass, but here you cannot pass it. Desmosomes provide strength by anchoring. Yeah, it gives strength. And third one, gap junctions enable communication. Yeah, really good. Yeah, protection by sealing and anchoring, that is making the tissues tight, and communication. So really, really important. Yeah, but when you read your, what do we call, resource book, you can find these details. You understand? You can see the picture. Biology is really a story. It is really interesting if you know the big picture, what is behind. By all these details, maybe you don't want, but to understand a resource book, you need this knowledge. Plasmodesmata. Plasmodesmata you find in plant cells. The yellow part is cell wall. Um, Inner to cell wall, you find plasma membrane. So two neighboring cells you can see. So from this, the plasma membrane goes into the continuous to the other cell. Yeah. So therefore, there is a pore, there is a passage. Yeah. What do we call? Covered by plasma membrane. If there is a cumbia going through this canal, what he can observe, what he can see is plasma membrane, just like the paint, in a room. That is a plasmodesmata. So materials, very tiny, small materials, they can go to the other side. Microscopic channels that run through plant cell wall. Cytoplasm, yeah, microscopic, this is, they are. Cytoplasmic living connections between cytoplasm of the joining cells. Cytoplasmic living, you will learn all these things when you learn how water is transported. Water goes in plant, yeah, symplastic pathway or whatever it is, something like that, yeah. Cytoplasmic living connections between cytoplasm of adjoining cells. Cytoplasmic living connections. This is through this space you find cytoplasm, cytoplasmic connections. All the cells are connected together using cytoplasm. Membranes line channels filled with cytoplasm. Yeah, this is plasmodesmata. Yeah, plasmod. This is not a real picture. So in the real picture, you find plasmodesmata is cytoplasmic connections. Yeah, connections surrounded by plasma membrane. So why cell junctions are important? Maintain tissue structure and integrity. Yeah, they work together. Coordinate cell activities. Protect tissues. Coordinate cell activities. Clear? To coordinate, they should communicate. Yeah. Protect tissues. Enable communication. It gives them the chance to communicate. And essential for development and functions of organs. Yeah. We are going to talk about all these things in sections to come. That is it. Examples in the body: skin epithelium, tight junctions prevent fluid loss. Skin epithelium, that is tight junctions. And desmosomes you find in muscle tissue. Strength during contraction, provide strength. Heart muscles, gap junctions allow cell to beat together. Gap junctions allow cell to beat together. Yeah, the cells have to beat together to make this happen. Clear. Therefore, there is heart muscle. Okay. Yeah. So when it comes to biology, basically it is a lot of theories, lot of passages, lot of text you have to read. And not only reading, not only trying to understand, but also you have to recollect all these facts and you have to memorize all these things. Not really memorizing. If you can recollect all these things at the examination, that would be really good. For that, you have to do two things. Number one, you should see the big picture, answering why question, why this happens in biology. You understand, right? So if you see why this happens, so going to the big picture without just trying to learn things by heart, then you will remember the facts in a good way. Another thing is you have to write it in English. So therefore, predominantly, basically, mainly, you have to go to English mode. When you are listening to English and English and English and English, and it is really easy for you to write things clear. Therefore, especially biology, I mean, when it comes to physics and chemistry, they have sort of facts, logic, and everything is there. It's really structured. But in biology, yeah, what happens is you have to pour passages onto question papers, not question papers, to answer scripts. So if you want to experience all these things, the venue is Reverse It Goal. We are starting this July 9th, Thursday at 2:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Our new batch. We are starting evolution